So hard on brake, press down the gas, let it build boost. Right now it's in drive and Alright guys, so here we are inside the 2019 Maserati Levante. The Levante is Maserati's first crack at an SUV vehicle. It falls in the space of like crossover, and its competitors consist of the Porsche Cayenne, I would say the most relevant, also similar price points. 2019 Levante comes with 345 horsepower and 424 foot-pounds of torque from a 3-liter V6 twin turbo. Now this is the same motor that you will find across the range, from the Ghibli to the Quattroporte to this vehicle. Now unlike the Ghibli, the Levante and the Quattroporte has a V8 option totaling well over 500 horsepower. But that's not what we're using today, and that's not the car that most of the people buy. Most of the people buy this 3-liter 6-cylinder twin turbo. As far as performance goes on the car, it's pretty good. It's not something you're not gonna set the world on fire. It's not like the fastest thing in its class, but it's spirited. It feels good to drive. It sounds good, because that is like one of the most important parts that Maserati did when they were developing this engine and exhaust note. The sound meant so much to them because it's what's giving you that initial driver feel that you're looking for. Right now, I'm actually driving this model, which has air suspension. It is lowered, but you can't really feel the difference because air suspension does such a great job with breaking down bumps. Like, as it soaks it up so well. So even right now, driving in like a Sport Plus mode, it still feels very compliant. I'm driving through New York streets right now, and it's not bad at all. So like I was saying, performance-wise, handling is pretty good with this model with the air suspension. Sound is awesome. Power is decent. It's not, like I said, setting the world on fire, but it's decent. And overall, it feels good for an SUV. Now, competitors like the X5, which come in a twin turbo V8, is gonna blow this thing out of the water in a straight line. If you're looking at like the more lower range models, like the GLE and the X5 in their 6-cylinder variants, that's a lot better comparison. That being said, this one is gonna be more expensive. It's gonna be priced closer to that of the V8 models. On ramp. So currently I drive a Dodge Durango RT. It's a V8 model, 360 horsepower. I would say that in performance wise, it's probably pretty similar. Although this SUV is lighter, its lower power kind of takes away. The torque really helps pick it up though. So like I said, overall, it's pretty good. One thing I love about the ZF 8-speed automatic transmission, and the way that they have it tuned in this vehicle, it knows what you want to do. It like can read you. It reads me well. Like, you can blip the throttle to downshift, which is completely awesome. When you make lane changes, very rarely am I putting this car in manual mode. I'm using it in a normal automatic mode, but as you can hear from my driving habits, it's holding the gear ready. It's like it's downshifting everything on its own because it can tell that I'm driving in the spirited manner, which is what you want. Let's talk about what's done to this one. This car is lowered, as I talked about, and how we did that is basically fool the air suspension into thinking that it's riding higher than what it is, which brings it down a little bit. And this car is also riding on 22-inch Exo luxury wheels. So all around, as far as chassis goes, it's wheels and suspension. Now, as far as detail goes, look at that. Y'all heard that? That was me blipping the throttle. I didn't hit a paddle, which unfortunately this one is the Q4 model and not the SQ4. The difference between Q4 and SQ4 is basically little things like bigger brakes, paddle shifters for the transmission, which is an option that this car doesn't currently have. The biggest difference between the Q4 and the SQ4 models is simple things. It's not really too much. It's more like paddle shifters, larger wheels, different front bumper with a model, should you choose the SQ4 model, bigger brakes. The exhaust valve, you can control it. You can literally put the car in sport, which will sharpen the throttle response, open up the baffles on the exhaust on demand, more so than this one, which is controlled fully automatically. All right, so let's talk about value, guys. This thing is not cheap. Most of them coming in at about $90,000. It's a decent bit of money. For $90,000, you can look at other vehicles which are going to give you more feature content, more power, like the X5 and the V8, like the GLE and the V8. The Cayenne, it's like I said, is more its direct competitor, and I think who more so Maserati is going after, the Porsche Cayenne. And when you talk about technology in this vehicle right here, when we speak about value, Maserati obviously is an FCA product. What else is an FCA product? Ferrari is also an FCA product, but also Dodge is also an FCA product. So, like I said, I have a Dodge Durango RT, and I am looking at Maserati's infotainment system right now, and guys, it's the same. It's just reskinned, recolored to look a little bit different, specific to Maserati, but it is exactly the same in terms of the menu, the feature content that it has, the controls, the climate features, everything is the same that is in my Durango. It's just, like I said, reskinned and refreshed. Now, that's not a bad thing though, and here's why. Ferrari also uses the same menu system. And the reason why, guys, is because it's a great system. The Uconnect system is what they call it in Dodges. And in Maserati, I'm not sure what they call this system. Although it's the same, that doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. It just means that it gives them more opportunity to focus on performance, design, and, you know, the fine details. Interior-wise, I've done a review before on a Maserati Ghibli SQ4. That is the one that Eugene owns. So in doing a review on that car, if you go back and click that link now, you'll notice that I talked about the interior being overall a nice place to be. That being said, there are some panel gaps that a little bit larger than I'd like to see in a luxury car, but they have done a decent job kind of updating and refining all of that in the Levante over the Ghibli. It seems like they tightened things up a little bit. I can't see like a big gap between the B-pillar and the door anymore. And in addition, the dash, it's a little tighter. So overall, the interior, if I could rate it, you know, on a scale of 10, I would probably rate this interior. For the price point, it's gonna take a hit because, you know, for almost $100,000, you have a great expectation. I would say probably an 8. I would give this an 8, interior wise. Space, it's a mid-size SUV, so it's similar to that of a Cayenne. It's similar to that of, you know, a GLE Mercedes. So overall, interior wise, space is decent, utilization is pretty good, the trunk is a decent size, as you can see. And the last thing that I want to talk about is design and aesthetics. The design and aesthetics of this car, to me, is really nice. It's a nice looking car. Now, this model in the Q4, the way that it came with small wheels. Bottoms were plastic on this car, but what the owner did, Get Set Limo, the owner of this vehicle, wanted to kind of update it, make it look better, look like the higher model, the SQ4, and painted the bottoms to match the vehicle. Huge difference, guys, huge difference. He also took it a step further and added some lime green accents, which I feel like really is a nice detail. It adds a lot to the vehicle. It gives it a little bit of wow factor. So with the combination of the wheels, the lowering, the painted bottoms, the green accents, the lime green accents that it has, the sound, the privacy glass with the tint, overall, man, I can only say good things about the Maserati Levante. When looking and comparing to other vehicles, it really just comes down to what you're looking for. If you're willing to pay the extra money and you kind of want the name as well as the style, then go for it, you know? But if you're a person that's big on your feature content and value for dollar and technology and, you know, the most performance for your dollar, I wouldn't quite say that this is going to be the exact vehicle for you. All right, guys, so we got a new feature for you. We are now going to be able to test our 0 to 60s during these reviews using a Race Logic V-Box. This is a GPS system that detects movement. So we're going to test 0 to 60 on the 2019 Maserati Levante Q4 3-liter V6 twin turbo. Let's do that now. Nothing but clear road and opportunity ahead of us, guys. Let's pull up our speedo so I can see it. Now what I want to do is I want to load up the turbos. I want to load up the transmission by brake torquing. So hard on brake, press down the gas, let it build boost. Right now it's in drive and that was 60. And let's see what she did it in. So there you have it, guys. 6.3 seconds, 0 to 60. And today, right now, it's 70 degrees out, so not too hot. I wouldn't mind doing it again, maybe in a different area. I think that this thing probably is capable of closer to 6 seconds flat. But there you have it. That's the 0 to 60. But anyway, guys, it's your boy Stefan here from Mod2Fame, and this was a fun review to do of the 2019 Maserati Levante Q4. I hope you guys liked it. More reviews coming of more modified cars, but until the next one, we out.